Hello there, this is Onion Creature, and I am going to be making a little review today of the recent 3DS game, Hey Pikmin, and my thoughts on that. So, should be pretty good, yeah. Hey Pikmin is a game that many didn't have very high expectations for. In the modern age of Nintendo, popular series have received spin-offs, some of which have not gone over very well with fans. Even though Pikmin 4 is in development, and people knew that, there was a feeling that the online community was not very accepting of this 2D spin-off Pikmin game, even though a main series Pikmin game was still coming. Now that Hey Pikmin has been released, the main question is it worth playing? Was the harsh response justified? After my time playing the game, I can say that while the game is certainly not perfect, it does have a lot to be commended for. Perhaps most importantly, Hey Pikmin does manage to capture the distinct feel that is unique to the Pikmin series. The pleasant visuals, soothing music, and charm are all accounted for. While the main series games feel like looking down into a bizarre garden of colorful creatures, Hey Pikmin's cross-section perspective evokes a sort of ant farm. This ant farm, of course, having Pikmin as opposed to ants. The 2D perspective allows a more close-up view at the Pikmin and Olimar, showcasing the expressiveness of the characters. The game comes complete with a log, where players can view enemies and real-life objects Olimar collects, along with delightful descriptions written by Olimar, which are incredibly entertaining and manage to give Olimar's character quite a bit more depth. Somehow, Hey Pikmin manages to feel like a Pikmin game, despite being in 2D and being more simplistic. Where Hey Pikmin does fall a bit short of its 3D counterparts is the gameplay. Hey Pikmin is far more linear than any other Pikmin game. In the sense of urgency, a Pikmin staple is almost completely absent. The goal of Hey Pikmin is to obtain 30,000 Sparklium, and while that may sound daunting, the process of collecting Sparklium is incredibly easy, and I struggle to imagine any somewhat experienced player having any difficulty reaching that goal by the end of the game. Difficulty in general is one of Hey Pikmin's weak points. A majority of enemies can be killed with one hit, and even if you do manage to let Pikmin die, the punishment for doing so is not being able to collect a treasure or unlock an extra level. The bosses in Hey Pikmin further emphasize the lack of difficulty, and they seem somewhat underdeveloped and are very simple and quick to defeat, with one or two exceptions in the late game. One minor complaint I have is that while at times the game's visuals are stunning, there are other occasions, particularly some of the cave and water levels, where the game looks a bit muddy and drab. Related to this, some of the models in the log tend to look a bit ugly when viewed close up, and it's clear that they weren't really designed to be looked at out of the context of a level. Although Hey Pikmin has quite a few shortcomings, its strengths do manage to really shine through. The characters are one such strength of Hey Pikmin. Olimar now feels far more versatile than he ever has in the main series Pikmin games, as a result of his jetpack. There are even quite a few puzzles which see Olimar abandoning the Pikmin to go fly off on his own in search of Sparklium. Hey Pikmin makes Olimar feel more like a protagonist than a cursor than he ever has before. Cementing this is the log entries, which as stated previously are not only amusing, but give the player an insight into Olimar's life and what matters to him. The Pikmin themselves even have more personality than in the main series games, as the game goes out of its way to show Pikmin interacting amongst themselves and with the environment around them through miniature cutscenes sprinkled throughout the levels. Additionally, because Olimar can only use 20 Pikmin at a time, there feels like there is a more personal connection to the Pikmin, and their deaths can feel more impactful than in the 3D games. While the game is certainly quite easy, it does manage to have some interesting gameplay segments and ideas. The puzzles in Hey Pikmin aren't exactly complicated, but they do require some thinking through and can be pretty fun at times. The level variety is another strong point. One level might see Olimar being carried by winged Pikmin in a windstorm, while another is all about getting red Pikmin to stomp out wildfires. Interestingly enough, Despite overall being a fairly linear game, Hey Pikmin does contain elements of exploration. To find all the secrets a level contains, it is necessary to take your time and look around for treasure and alternate paths. Some levels even contain 2 different ending points, which will take you to different levels. The amount of exploration in Hey Pikmin is limited, but what is there is appreciated and does make the game feel somewhat unique. Hey Pikmin also has a few interesting little bonus bits. For one, there is the Pikmin Park, where all the Pikmin you collect on your journey are kept. The Pikmin held here will dig around in bushes and rocks to get more treasure and sparklium. The mode itself is a decent diversion, but it lacks depth and has a limited appeal. The amiibo functionality, however, I did find to be fairly clever. By using a Pikmin, Mario, Splatoon, or Animal Crossing series amiibo, a bonus stage will be unlocked on the map, where an in-game version of that amiibo can be collected and added to the log. While it isn't exactly groundbreaking, the feature is enjoyable, especially reading Olimar's thoughts on various Nintendo characters. The things Hey Pikmin gets right, it gets very right. Despite the lack of difficulty, I found myself really having fun with the game and immersing myself into the world of Pikmin yet again. This game seems especially well suited to younger players, or those who've never played a Pikmin game before, and it may lure them into the more complicated and challenging main series entries with its charming characters and world. For everyone else, there is still a great deal of enjoyment to be had, and I would recommend it if you're looking for a pleasant way to spend some time. Alright then, that was my review of Hey Pikmin. Hope you enjoyed it, and yes.